Hi, I'm Paul Michaels, and welcome to another episode of Nerd Supernova. I am your host, and my co-host is...
KJ McDermott.
Alright. So, yeah, we're going to talk about The Last Jedi, the new Star Wars movie.
The Last Jedi. It's so, appropriately named because it's just The Last Star Wars. It's because they just killed it.
Yeah.
Where to begin?
Yeah.
Where to begin? It's like the heavy sigh of where to begin.
Alright, you know what? I'm going to be honest as I can because people should know. The first night I saw this film, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And I didn't really look at reviews right away. Like I already knew it was probably certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. That didn't surprise me when I saw that. But I noticed right away that fans were mixed about it, and I thought, well, it is a new movie. It's different. But honestly, the more I thought about this film, it bothered me, and I thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna go see it again tomorrow night, and I'm gonna see if things play better. Because
maybe,
they know.
Maybe you caught something the second time that you didn't see the first time.
Right.
Maybe
and
clicked into place better the second time.
And this is Disney. They know that we're going to see these Star Wars movies a bunch of times anyway.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, maybe that was the point. You know, there's little Easter eggs and stuff like that, and yeah, they didn't do that. There's so many good moments in the movie, and it's overshadowed by
bad moments.
By like the floppy endings, the pointless side plots that go pretty much fucking nowhere.
There's no need for half of it.
3 useless characters that don't need to even be in the film.
Yeah. But hey, she's got purple hair, so that's cool.
So the 3 characters I'm talking about is the character called Rose, who follows Finn on this stupid casino mission that's completely stupid. There's a purple-haired lady named Haldo, who's a general and completely new and comes out of freaking nowhere. Apparently she was, like, I guess, childhood friends with Leia, though we've never seen her at this point.
Or mentioned, or
yeah,
anything,
or something like that. And we have another character referred to as DJ, and I only know that from looking it up, who's played by Benicio del Toro, who's a hacker type, who we just meet randomly and just joins them and is completely pointless. There's so much that's pointless about this film. I'm going to mention the positives first. The effects-wise, the film is great. It's a good use of practical and CGI effects. It feels like a Star Wars film in the sense of it looks and feels like a Star Wars film. I wasn't a fan of what they were doing with Luke, but I think Mark Hamill does a really good job in what they're doing with him. And at first, watching the movie, I assumed it was a redemption arc. And as a redemption arc, it was pretty well done, even though there's not a lot of context as to how he kind of gets there. You have ideas, but you don't really know. And again, they can still flesh this out in 9, but at this point, I kind of don't care anymore.
You talk about the movie itself, not hopes for the future on 9.
I know.
Talk about the movie
well,
itself.
that's the thing. So Luke dies at the end of the film, and
spoiler alert.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to put spoiler tags on this anyway, even though it's been like 3 weeks.
He dies like a bitch.
Yeah, he astral projects himself, and there's no reason for it. There's a whole point where he faces Kylo Ren on this planet to help the rebels escape, and if he had died there, I would not have loved it, but I would have accepted it.
It would have been better than him just sighing and dying on his own.
On an island with no one there.
Did he have a stroke? Did he just overexert himself? He should have just showed up in person and died like Ben Kenobi and been all strike me down, I'll be more powerful, bitch.
Yeah, and he even says great lines to Kylo, it doesn't matter if you kill me because I'll be with you, just like your dad. Saying fuck you for killing my friend Han Solo, you piece of shit.
And if he died then and there, it would have been fine.
It would have sucked,
but
we would have understood.
To fake out the audience into thinking that oh, he's still alive,
and it's great, and because we expected him to die because of Han Solo, and then he dies anyway.
It's to fake out to then unfake out 30 seconds later. What's the point of it?
It doesn't make any sense, and I'm annoyed at the fact that he's very passe and he throws the lightsaber over his shoulder. I get what they were going for, but then other people have been coming online and saying well, Obi-Wan and Yoda were also hermits and put themselves off, and I'm they were still being hunted, weren't they? And wasn't Obi-Wan looking after Luke the whole time?
Into reclusion.
Yeah, they like Obi-Wan was looking after Luke the whole time. Yoda was waiting to train one of the Skywalker twins, and the only reason he was hesitant about Luke is because he was afraid Luke would turn down the same path that that Vader did, as we learned throughout the whole course of the 3 films. Now, yes, the 3rd film hasn't come out yet, and there's still stuff that can be solved, possibly, or even salvaged, but I think that, honestly, I thought that they had figured everything out, that they had the whole plan ready to go with all 3 films. From what I found out is essentially JJ just set all this stuff up in 7, and Rian was supposed to answer some of it, and I think he did a terrible job. I don't
They just ignored everything that happened in 7.
Pretty much. Pretty much. That's kind of how it feels, and on top of that, like, even when stuff is answered, it's kind of hollow and doesn't really sit well with you, and is just kind of lame. And Disney's basically Kylo Ren telling you to let the past die and to move on. And it's like, first off, that's never been what Star Wars has been about, ever. Literally, the whole point of the series is to show that the past always comes back with a vengeance. The whole Sith coming back for revenge, the whole Jedi coming back from the brink of extinction, the whole aspects of all the decisions that people make in one movie leads down 6 movies later. Like, everything is about connection and about family and about the past. Like, that is Star Wars to me as a fan. And they just kind of take a dump on that. That's what it felt like, and it was really bad in that sense. Now, the effects are fine. The acting is good. Some of the dialogue is even solid.
The effects are great, but I feel like the random CGI characters that they add in don't need to be there. Like the weird crystal foxes don't really need to be there.
Well, it kind of helped them show a way out. I can understand that plot point.
Huh?
What was it?
The porg things? What are those things?
So I should state though, the porg were actually put in there because on the island where they're at, there were puffins everywhere, and they couldn't do anything to the puffins without, going against like nature or something like that. So they just added in porgs. So if they ever saw the puffins in the background, they could just make them into porgs essentially.
Okay.
That's what the porg came about.
Okay.
The porgs, honestly,
the weird beach whale creature thing with like the green milk. It's just like what was that scene?
I kind of got it. I kind of get it though. Like, he's trying to gross out Rey. He's trying to get Rey to leave him alone. I get that, but yeah, it's still really just random. I still don't understand the whole point of her going like Luke.
The weird nun creatures that are on the island that show up only when they're needed.
Yeah,
or it's just like, oh hey, yeah, they're here, but we've never seen them before, and oh wait, here's a funny moment with them. Cool.
I guess there's also like the idea that like she goes into like this cave essentially the same way that Luke did, and except we get no answers. Like, we know what the point of that cave was by the end of Empire. We understand that he wasn't seeing himself becoming Vader. The cave was warning him not to become his dad.
Yeah.
Rey is just like,
there's a tree and there's books.
And I guess I'm nobody or something. And it's like, okay, so are you Anakin? Okay, the movie doesn't explain that. Okay, so if she was made in place of, because Luke cut himself off from the Force, so she was made to be the counterpoint to Kylo, then where's the counterpoint to Snoke?
On Snoke? Who the fuck is Snoke?
It doesn't matter anymore, because he's gone!
It doesn't matter at all, because it's like, oh, here's a cool villain!
And he's gone.
Really powerful, and we have no explanation of who he is, where he came from, and now he's dead. Cool.
Yeah, man. The whole movie tries to show you that it's being provocative or it's doing something new, but it doesn't do anything really new. It shows you this whole scene about them going to meet Snoke, like how Vader and Luke went to go see the Emperor. And you're like, oh, but hey, man, maybe things can change. Maybe Rey will actually go to the dark side. Maybe Ben Solo will go to the light. Maybe Snoke will try to kill one of them. Maybe they'll kill Snoke. We don't know.
Maybe he pits them against each other to be like, oh, kill each other. Let's see who's stronger.
Right?
No.
Any of those ideas would have actually been better than what we got in the movie. Here's another thing. The whole, I said this to my friends immediately. Why is the guy who's the codebreaker, not Benicio del Toro, but the guy who's completely fucking pushed aside there in the...
To be honest, when I first saw him, I was expecting fucking Bruce Campbell. Like, the way the movie was going...
You know who I was expecting?
I was expecting Bruce Campbell to be there in, like, the white suit, be like, what's up, baby? And be like, oh, look, Bruce Campbell cameo. Like, I was...
Do you know what
that it's bad that I was expecting that from the movie, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Do you know what I was expecting? Lando.
Oh, see, Lando would have been awesome!
Lando would have been great. And you know what? You know what?
Especially like in a casino, like doing all that shit,
and being around women and all that stuff,
and with some Colt 45, and
exactly. And not even that, dude. You could have had a whole scene because Lando was there with Han and Leia and all of them when all that shit was going down. You're telling me that whole scene where they're on the ship with DJ that they couldn't have been having a scene with Lando, and Finn would have known who Lando was. He's like, wait a minute, you're Lando Calrissian. You helped out Han Solo and the rebellion in the old days. What happened? Why are you on a casino planet? And he could have had a whole side story being like, hey, I went back to Cloud City, and I had things going well for me. We heard rumors of like a new thing starting up, like about the First Order. And
take the smuggler out of Lando.
Yeah, like, well, and then what happens?
I tried the resistance, baby.
Yeah, but he's like, and then what happened? Oh, Cloud City got destroyed by the First Order. I went to the New Republic asking for help after they killed my family and killed my city, and all they could agree on was to put more ships on more planets. And because we set them up for 10 minutes before they kept arguing with each other. That would have been a better story and more politically relevant than anything that they just tried to do on that casino planet. Like, isn't slavery bad, guys?
There was no point to it.
There was no point to any of it.
Message being like, oh, look at, like, war is war. They sell to both sides and they profit off of it. Cool, great. Doesn't belong in the movie. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't care. And not only that, like now I think about warmongers every time there's going to be a battle in Star Wars. Like, what? What is the point of that?
What's the point of the random kid at the end?
Oh, because he's...
Are we supposed to be like, oh, there are still people...
Because he moved the broom.
Of course there are still people with the Force out there. The Force doesn't just not exist.
Even Luke says that. Like, what was the point?
Yeah, like, it's not just like it disappears once the Skywalker bloodline is dead. There's other people attuned to the Force. They're just...
It's not even that. There's nothing to say that you can't have the Skywalkers and other Force users be in the same fucking franchise. Not only that, you just proved that you could do a spin-off movie and make money off of it.
Well, and also, like...
You can't have spin-offs with other Jedi and have Skywalker still be in the main saga? Like, makes no sense. Sorry. Anyway, continue on with what you're saying.
Is the bunch of random aliens in the background. And I know Star Wars is famous for that, but at the same time, it's just like, there are scenes where they're like on the bridge, and there's just like a random giant dude in the background, and you're just like, that guy's cool. Alright. Good to know that he's there. Awesome. They can make another random toy of that random dude.
Also, the more you think about it, how would how would Poe not know who Admiral Holdo was? There's like 40 of them on this ship. Right. How does he not...
Why does it seem like the Resistance has been like dwindled down to like 3 ships?
Yeah.
When it used to be like planet-wide resistances.
Well, they got all their planets knocked out in the last one. I can maybe understand that, but even then, it doesn't make any sense when they're being chased by all of these First Order ships, and the First Order can't order 2 other ships to go in front of them and stop them, or I don't know, go in front of them and then stop them there.
Like communicate to be like, oh shit, there's a bunch of our ships in this galaxy, and we're chasing these 2. Can anybody else like jump in front of them and kill them?
They couldn't catch.
No, everybody's.
They couldn't catch Han and Leia. They couldn't catch Han and Leia because Han and Leia were going through a meteor field. Like it was harder to do. It was harder to get them, like a tiny little ship.
Explain how they tracked them through light speed.
They had developed a tracker to develop and track the vehicles or something essentially.
Okay, I missed that.
Yeah, but even then, like the whole point of Rose was to then disable that tracker. So for the 6 minutes, the ships could get away, and so they couldn't get them. And then that plot point is completely thrown off the side.
They don't end up using light speed anyway.
Yeah, and it's not even that matter. Like they push it aside so that freaking Phasma can have her cameo, which honestly is great. But it feels like the director was writing the movie and then was like, "Oh shit, I forgot to include Phasma. I better put her."
There's this character. We totally forgot about her. We should throw her in here somewhere.
And then have her die a fiery death.
Oh, I've already told you about this in the car ride back. But it's like she's standing right next to him when they're about to execute him. And, like, the bomb goes off, and when they wake up, she's, like, a football field away, like, walking back towards them. And I'm just like, did she teleport away to then walk back towards him? Like, what the fuck just happened there?
Yeah,
like,
dude. Now I want to be honest. I set you up to be disappointed by this film. I'm not gonna lie, I did because.
Dude, I was disappointed by the first opening.
Yeah.
When it shows Poe jump up and he's doing like the prank phone call shit, and it was like the prank phone call shit does not belong in a Star Wars movie.
It doesn't.
That type of dialogue does not belong in this type of movie. Like, cool, fine, whatever. You want to update it for the times. You want to get like the hipsters and like the young kids into it by like using their lingo and doing shit that they would recognize, but it doesn't fucking belong in the movie. It doesn't.
No.
Like that belongs in like a supernatural episode. That's like whatever. It at least takes place in our current day and age. It doesn't belong in a Star Wars. Him doing like a prank
he's
phone
tooling
call
with you, sir.
I know, tooling with you, sir. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, oh, don't feed the trolls. Fire the cannons. Like, what? Like,
it's
like
just
from that moment, I was just like, really? Like from right there, from like the get go, I was just like, all right, what are they doing?
How did you feel about the Leia scene?
Uh,
No, I remember. So we had commentary about this as we're watching the film because this was my third time seeing it, even though I didn't want to. But you wanted to see it, and I was like, all right, I'll come with you
when
because
she first died, I thought she was dead, and I was like, that sucks for a great character to die like a bitch.
yeah,
Like she just kind of like she sees it coming and like knows it's coming, and the bridge blows out, and she's like, oh fuck, well that's how Leia dies. And then all of a sudden it's her in space, and it just reminded me of like fucking Peter Quill from Guardians of the Galaxy in space, being all like, oh look it, I'm in space for a long time and not dying. Not like instantaneously having my eyeballs burst and my body like freeze over and explode or whatever happens in space.
yeah, and
But-
too bad for
and then
Admiral Akbar.
Her hand twitches and she force pulls her way back to the bridge. I was like, cool, Leia. So
And they don't do anything. They don't do
you're in tune
anything.
with the Force, but in the last movie, you weren't in tune with the Force at all.
You were in tune with the Force and the nature
now,
of like.
now she can like sense shit going on in the galaxy. Well, she sensed Han dying, sure, but she couldn't sense her brother. Her brother, she couldn't sense.
No,
Luke?
she sensed when Luke was dying. She and Rey at the same
No,
time.
I'm saying in the last movie, she couldn't sense where Luke was.
Oh.
And it's like now she's like super attuned with the Force that she can like force cocoon herself to save herself from space and pull her back.
There's
Like,
not even
so she
a line to explain it. She doesn't come in and
jumps
say.
from like doing nothing to being like super Force user. That
Also, she
travels in
opens the
space by
door.
herself?
Also, she opens the door to like a giant room that's just been exploded. Is there
And
no
there's
other sheet?
vacuum.
Yeah, they don't get sucked out when she
Yep.
opens that door. Like, I don't understand that. There's a lot of little things like that in the movie that don't get explained. It's just look. There's a fine line between space fantasy and being logical.
Kylo flying into the ship and then shooting his like torpedoes totally just reminded me of Anakin from Phantom Menace.
Oh,
when he
dude.
flies in and he's like, "Oh, what does this do, R2?" Like, and he shoots it like while he's inside with like the Naboo fighter.
There's actually a
And
meme.
I'm just like, all right, like, you would think that they would have. I know that they have like the invisible, like the force field things for like, the ships.
But they would
fly in
have
and
it so
out.
that enemy ship
But
couldn't
wouldn't
fly in
you
like
have
that.
a thing to like block other ships flying in? Why don't they just do that all the time? Why don't you just have ships that fly in with the sole purpose of doing that every fucking space battle? Like, if it's that easy,
Yeah.
do that.
Not
Why
even
do
that.
Giant bombers.
Not even
have
that.
Have a fucking tiny little stealth bomber
The
that
one-
flies in,
The one scene.
blows shit up, flies out, boom, there you go.
The one scene where Holdo actually has a point and she uses the ship to then fly into the Snoke ship and all the other ones. It's a great scene, but then immediately you have to ask yourself, well, why the fuck haven't they been doing that this whole time with all the other ships and all of the other Star Wars movies to take out all the other fleets? Is it just because the ships are too expensive? Like, I guess, but like, why couldn't they do that with the Death Star? Did the Death Star have shields? Like,
Right? Why didn't they just fly into the Death Star's like hangar bay, blow it up from there? Why do they need like an exhaust port? They can just fly into the hangar bay and be like, boom! Hey, fly out, cool. Like,
the Rian Johnson did not think any of this film through. He didn't. I don't think he's like, I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm like, you're not a Star Wars fan. It's like maybe you're a fan of the Force because the Force stuff was pretty solid for the most part. Like I felt it was
Well, see,
treated
that's the thing, is,
seriously, with not counting fucking Leia.
the island stuff with Luke and Rey, I enjoyed.
Right. I
All
agree with
the-
a lot of the points that Luke makes too.
All the other stuff that was happening at the same time, you're just sitting there just being like,
Can we go back to the Jedi stuff, please?
but then even like the timeline. Okay, fine, it's space, so obviously like timelines are different. Like if it's a small planet that Luke was on, like obviously the day and night would be quicker.
Yeah.
I'm not getting into like the science of
Yeah.
like that shit, but it was multiple days that Rey was there.
Right.
Meanwhile, the whole time that Rey was there with Luke, that same slow chase scene was going on, and they're still flying away, being like, oh, we're just out of range of their cannons, let's keep going. Meanwhile, that whole thing with Rey and Luke going back and forth was a couple days. It wasn't just like one day.
No, it was a couple
It
days.
was a couple
at
days.
least a week,
Like,
if not
they
that.
had day and night. They had day and night rainstorms, like whatever. And sure, maybe the planet revolves really quick, so the days and nights are short. I'm not getting into that, but at the same time, moviegoer wise, you're expecting it to be like an Earth Day, and you're watching it just being like, all right, so she was there for what, like a week, a month, who knows? How long was that fucking space thing going on?
Meanwhile, back to Holdo. Like, oh, we're running out of time. We don't have time for this.
Like,
It's like, you have time enough to be on this ship for that long.
They never ever. This is the first one that I've ever heard them talk about, like the fuel for their ships and everything. They never really mentioned it before, being like, oh, we only have enough fuel for another, like, jump to light space. Han Solo never said, like, oh, hey, like, we need the fuel for light space jumps. They never talked about refueling shit. They never talked about how the ships are fueled or how they go. I'm sure in the books, as a kid, in, like, the blueprints, which are non-canon nowadays anyway.
I don't know.
They explain it all, but now it's like, oh, no, we're running out of fuel. We can't jump to light space. It's like, well, never happened before. Why is it a problem now? Oh, you need it for the plot now. Okie dokie. Now we're running out of fuel. It's like,
all right, let's get back to Jedi stuff for 2 seconds, because I do want to admit I love the Yoda scene.
The Yoda scene was awesome.
I love the Yoda
And
scene.
I love that he was puppety.
Oh, puppet Yoda was great.
Well, you had to, because if you look chronologically,
yeah,
the last time we saw Yoda, he was a puppet. In Return of the Jedi, he was a puppet.
Yep.
So you need to make him look like
a puppet.
Because that's what he looked like. That's how old he was.
But they also know fans want the puppet Yoda. They don't want
the CGI Yoda.
No.
Was it still Frank Oz?
Yeah, that was Frank Oz still doing it. And they even got the woman who painted.
Glad Frank Oz got a paycheck.
Well, yes, and not only that, they even got the woman who painted the original eyeballs to come back and paint different.
He looked like Return of the Jedi Yoda, which is I actually liked that. I thought it was fucking crazy that he can summon a storm and lightning and
I don't know.
everything. And
I don't know what they're doing. Are they trying to build up this idea that Force ghosts are going to be used in an army or something like that? Like that's what's going to happen with Luke now. He's going to be an all-powerful Force ghost. It's stupid though.
Like the end of the next movie,
the Force ghosts are guides. They're not meant to be warriors.
The Jedi's come back as like the ghost army from like.
But even then, there's only 5 of them. You have like Qui-Gon who figured it out. You have Yoda. You have Ben Kenobi.
But
you have Anakin.
To the Force, all you need is 5.
You have Anakin, and then you have Luke. That's 5 Jedi. Even then, it's just so dumb.
The ending of the next one is like each one of them, like Kylo Ren is about to kill somebody with a lightsaber, and then like Yoda pops up and like Force holds him, and Luke shows up. Anakin shows up, and it's fucking Hayden Christensen, and everybody just lets out a communicative like sigh of like, oh fuck, they got Hayden Christensen.
There was no reason to kill Luke Skywalker. There was no reason other than to move along and get things done.
Maybe he just wanted out.
No, he's Mark Hamill. You're not telling me that he wouldn't want to come back for Luke Skywalker, especially if there's another big paycheck involved. Are you fucking kidding me?
I was sitting there waiting for like the Joker, like the cock knocker jokes.
Oh,
being like,
why would they?
But you're Luke Skywalker, and he just looks up. He's like, no, I'm the Joker. He just laughs and be like, ah. But obviously that would have
ruined the movie.
It ruined it more.
Yes, ruined it more. Luke dying makes it that much worse. Leia and Rey and Finn and Poe and all of them are all on this one ship. There's like 20 people on the ship. And she's like, well, what are we going to do now, Leia? Who won't be obviously in 9 because you're dead now in real life. Oh, it's okay. We have all that we need on this ship. No.
So you got like 40 people and one ship.
Yeah.
Falcon. Yeah.
Listen, I mean, Rey's cool and all, I guess, if you don't care about not knowing anything about her backstory, which has even less explanation now than it did in 7, which I didn't think was possible. But okay, so it's Leia who's not going to be back. It's 3 characters that no one knows in the galaxy apart from the Resistance. You literally just showed that you put out a Leia distress call.
And
like
nobody answered. So
no one answered. No one came. And you made it a point that not only was it Leia putting it out, they're like, now is the time to come.
They're just setting it up for a Kylo Ren redemption, even though he was being like a little bitch in this one.
He's the supreme leader now. What? It doesn't fucking matter. It's like they even make a point that like my son is dead.
The redhead's gonna turn on him.
I don't look. It
evil Nazi ginger there is gonna turn on him.
It doesn't.
He
matter.
was such a little bitch too.
Well, that was fine. I laughed my ass off when he got thrown across. Not by fucking Snoke, but
I know the joke that I said early.
What?
Remember, like when like Snoke's face showed up as the hologram?
Yeah, I'm the great and powerful Oz.
The great and powerful Oz commands you. Like giant face, like pay no attention.
Also,
to that Sith
was he
behind the curtain.
Was he on the same ship, or was he like controlling?
He was on a separate ship,
and he was controlling the Force from that far away. Like, it's like, dude, how powerful is this guy?
Vader,
it doesn't matter.
Vader kills people through.
Yeah,
and
through the thing. Yeah, he killed it through the speaker.
He guy while like talking.
But I always assumed that they were at least in range. I always felt that they were at least in range.
Maybe they're talking to somebody that gives them like a channel to like connect to them.
Maybe, but even then, it's like, it's just, how did they not let Snoke know about the whole radar thing? He's fucking Snoke, and then like the next scene, he's like, "Oh yes, good.
Okay,
thanks for filling me in there, Hux."
One thing I did think was cool.
Okay.
The Red Guards were pretty cool.
Right, and you want to know something?
Badass.
You want to know something? They're not the Knights of Ren.
Okay.
They're just...
Who the fuck is it?
I don't know!
He's on the Knights of Ren, and it's 2 movies now that we have been told about them. There was the flashback scene with them in like the rain and everything, and he's there in the middle and they're around him, and we still don't know who they are.
You know what would have been great? Is if Kylo had like a thing and was like, I'm not like this is how Snoke dies. Like if Snoke dies, but like instead Kylo snaps his fingers and the Knights of Ren jump from the ceiling or something.
They like rappel down, like on
yeah,
ropes,
and they fight the red guys while he goes to him. Like that would have been.
The red guys were cool.
They were
cool. The weapons that they had,
were awesome.
Were pretty cool. They were new type of weapons, and they like a bardish and like a whip sword lightsaber thing. Those were cool. I liked that fight scene. It was cool. It was new. It was something we haven't seen before. But it did nothing.
It doesn't.
It did nothing.
See, that's the whole movie, though. They show you something really cool. They throw like a bunch of keys in your face, and then after
jingle,
it's done,
jingle. It's shiny, isn't it?
And then it's done. Nothing has changed in the movie. No character goes from A to B to C. They go from A to B to B1 to B. Finn does nothing. He was my favorite character from the last movie.
Character development for Finn. And he was just there, and he was doing stuff, but there was no sustenance. Like,
I mean, I guess he decides to join the rebels again because the guy tells him not to join, and he just wants to find Rey. But he's like, I guess I'll be rebel now. I'm rebel scum, and it's like, look, dude, at this point, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm
the
done.
whole movie was just like great visuals, but
no substance.
Yeah,
no substance.
There's nothing there. It was great visuals, but there was really like the plot was shitty, the dialogue was terrible. It was just the only I remember commenting like one of the positives was like, oh great, the animatronics on Chewbacca were better. Oh cool, like when he's about to like eat like the chicken.
Yeah, he looks like a real thing.
And like he's sitting there and he's looking back and like his mouth is moving and like his face is moving. I was like, oh cool, they got the animatronics on Chewbacca good. Awesome. Yeah. Glad for that. I'm sure like the Disney theme parks, like the new Chewbacca, the Disney theme parks will be awesome, but cool. Like,
yeah. Anyway, fuck this movie, and I don't think it's.
Don't say fuck the movie.
Look, it's not the worst.
Fuck the people who made the movie.
It's not the worst Star Wars movie, but it's my pure definition of what a mediocre.
Lisa disagrees. Lisa think that like this is the worst one, though.
No, it's a mediocre film. It's a mediocre Star Wars film, and it's basically just trying to kill off. I don't know what the point of killing off the old fan base is going to do them in the long run. Like anything that I've looked at in my entire existence, you need new fans, sure, but you do it by making cool new movies. That's how you do it. You don't do it by basically giving the middle finger to the old fan base. That never works in any fandom that I've ever seen. DC Comics tried doing that with New 52. They tried restarting and throwing out all the old history. It just pissed off fans for 5 years until they went back and made Rebirth.
Well, I'm waiting until the next movie when like Boba Fett comes back and he's all angry and now apparently he has like double lightsabers and you know like he's the next bad guy. And
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point. I shouldn't even joke.
I don't know,
Fuck.
dude. I don't know,
Like,
dude.
oh, we need to bring him back. Let's bring back a fan
JJ,
favorite.
I mean, JJ like produced this film, and I'm kind of
Boba
surprised.
Fett and Darth Maul come back as like a team.
JJ was excited to produce this film. You're telling me he didn't come in at any point and say like, hey, maybe you should follow up all these plot points so that people can.
He probably didn't. He signed his name off and got the paycheck.
Probably, man.
Like, look at Spielberg. Spielberg signs his name on like everything nowadays.
Because he just gives a little money to make it happen, and that's it.
And then
he cashes the check.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just terrible, man. It's like this like anyone. The thing is that anyone would give their left testicle to make this movie, and this is what we got. This is what we got, and it's just so mediocre. It's so mediocre. Could you imagine
if Kevin Smith made this movie?
No. Writing it, maybe, but even then, I don't know.
No, not writing it, but if he directed it, like if the script was written,
it would be too big for Kevin Smith, and I don't think Kevin Smith would want the responsibility.
Yeah, true, touche. He would probably decline it because he knows that like he would not appease all the fans.
Yeah,
and see, that's why I like Kevin Smith.
But look, this film did not care about anything from The Force Awakens. It basically destroyed any hype I had for this new series. I'm sorry, but your goal as a Star Wars movie, unless you're the last one of a trilogy, is to make a good movie, one, and your second goal is to get people excited to see the next chapter. That's the point. It's a serialized franchise.
This one, I don't think anybody's excited for the next movie.
No, I only want to see 9 just to see what the fuck they're gonna do, and I'll be done after the first viewing. I'll be like, okay, great.
The trailer was so fucking gorgeous.
It's a well-made looking movie. It looks beautiful.
I know. It just popped into my head. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go on.
The other part that I was just like, the fuck? Well, thanks, random guy. Is when the guy like sit there and like when somebody's walking and it's like it's Ice Planet Hoth, but it's not Hoth.
And he says like, salt.
And he touches the ground and then he like tastes it. He's like, oh, salt. I was like, thanks, random dude.
That was done for 2 reasons.
Like, thanks for telling me it's salt and not snow. Cool.
That was done for 2 reasons: to do that and to show the cameo of the guy next to him, who is Gareth Edwards, who's a cameo from Rogue One. They switched because Rian Johnson is a cameo in Rogue One.
I did not know that, but still, it's just.
But
like, thanks, random guy. Thanks for the red salt reference.
I don't know.
Awesome.
I can kind of understand it because they haven't been on this planet, obviously, because it's from way back, probably in like the original trilogy days. So I can get that, but like still, it's still dumb. A lot of this movie is just dumb. It has no substance. It acts like it's about something, but it's really about nothing. Oh, let's talk about the fucking stupid Rose.
Like how many writers were on this script?
This was written and directed by Rian Johnson. One dude, and no one thought to go in.
How? It seems like it was written like every other scene was written by somebody else. I would have expected like 8 different writers because it just seems like so haphazardly just like thrown together that there was like multiple storylines just like thrown together.
The only other
like, oh well, you know what? Like I have this part, and then like that writer's fired, but they keep the stuff.
The only other writer who I think is credited is George Lucas, but only because they're using his because they're his characters. Until they don't have to credit him anymore, and then it's like we own Star Wars now.
But it just seems, I don't know, dude. Like,
here's the thing: I can understand.
There was a lot I enjoyed, but the majority of it, like 80% of it, I like did not like.
Yeah.
And then there was like the 20% of like certain things that was like, oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it, I was just like, well, okay.
Yeah. Or
cool.
Why did that happen?
Like,
what's the point of this?
So, where are we going with this? Oh, we're going nowhere with this. All right, cool.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome. I was honestly, I joked about it in the theater when they were like at like the racetrack and like
we thought it was gonna be pod racing, and it wasn't.
I was like, oh shit! If they're bringing back pod racers, that would have
been a great time to do it
instead of random like weird animal things. If they were like, oh look at the racetrack, and then there were pod racers, that would have been a cool throwback. That would have been cool. I would not have minded that at all for like the 2 seconds that they're like, oh, it's a racetrack and it's pod racing. Be like,
because they gamble. It's a gambling planet. That's something that they would do.
Oh, pod racers. They exist in this universe. Oh, look at pod racing.
Instead,
that would have been funny. And then it's just these weird, awkward-looking animal things that they're just like, oh, look it. Here's another creature. We just made another creature to sell another toy. Awesome.
Rose is laughing on one, and Finn is telling her, "Stop enjoying this. Stop enjoying this." I'm like, "Buddy, trust me, I'm not enjoying any of this."
And then fucking BB-8 shooting coins.
He has a higher body count than anyone else in the movie.
Well, dude, I was saying it too. Like when they're escaping the casino planet, and it's Finn and Rose, and they're leaving, And I was just like, all right, so they're trying to escape right now, and they're totally ditching BB-8. They're ditching him. They don't know that he's going to meet up with them again. They just left him there in the prison, and they're trying to escape on their own. And, of course, it's a movie, so BB-8 shows up to the rescue with random Benicio del Toro characters.
Do you know why I like BB-8?
And it's just like they didn't know that was going to happen.
Do you know?
They did not know that was it. They did not even go back for him. They just abandoned him.
Yeah, dude, I liked BB-8 in 7 because he was just a droid. He's just a cute little droid that meets up with them and finds them.
R2's in this.
For like 5 seconds.
Scenes.
For 5 seconds. They totally underused...
3PO has more screen time than R2.
Chewbacca's just hanging out on the Falcon the whole time.
Chewbacca barely has shit too. He's got the scene where he's just eating, and then he's got the scene where he sees Luke, and that's about it. And then like he shows up at the end when they need somebody to pilot the Falcon, because Rey can't pilot the Falcon. Oh, my blood is boiling over this.
No, co-piloted, I guess, but still, it's just... Yeah, dude.
He was solo piloting it.
He what? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she was.
Because she's at the bottom shooting.
He was solo piloting.
The more you think about the film,
co-pilot was the fucking Porg thing that just kept being like, ah! You'd be like, why are you there? He's saving you for like an after dinner snack later. The
more you think about the movie, the more it like hurts to think about. I guess.
God, it's so true, but it shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. And you know what? I have my issues with Force Awakens. I have my issues with Rogue One. But you know what? I both find them enjoyable movies. I think that they're fun extensions of the Star Wars universe, and I like them. And I like the new characters.
You know what the next movie needs is Alan Tudyk. He needs to come back and voice another droid.
Oh my god, dude. Well,
come on, like they can do that. They can do that.
So JJ,
droid.
So Rian Johnson, as far as I know, does not have any say in the new movie because they gave him his own trilogy for some reason. I don't know why they loved this movie that much to give him his own trilogy. But JJ took over the duties of doing the last movie because the Jurassic World director dropped out. And apparently, I found out the more reason he dropped out is because he wasn't agreeing with what they were doing. And now I understand why. Like it's ridiculous. I'm hoping that Abrams is smart enough to see how bad they're doing and then just make a better Star Wars movie. Because if they keep going this route, they're just going to kill the franchise and no one wants to have anything more to do with this. Okay, so JJ's doing it, and he's taking some of the writing stuff that they've done and bringing on Chris Terrio to help write the script for the new one. So it's him and this other guy working on the script. At this point, dude, so as of right now, on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, but like the user score is 50%. The user score on Metacritic is 4.6 out of 10, and the user rating on IMDb is 7.5. For comparison, 7.6 is where Revenge of the Sith currently sits, and Force Awakens.
Revenge of the Sith is doing better than it.
Yeah, and on top of that, The Force Awakens, when that came out, that stayed on the top 250 list for 2 whole years until this film came out. And it's not even a month, and it's already at 7.5. It's gonna, I think, in my opinion, gonna keep going down.
Yeah, because if people actually go and see it, like I still waited. It's been out for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Now I just saw it. Like,
well, why? Yeah. So
my coworkers were even just being like, "I want to talk to you about it. I want to talk to you about it." And I was like,
yeah.
"I haven't seen it yet." Why haven't you seen it?
Did your coworkers want to talk to you because they liked the film or because they didn't like the movie?
I told them.
Don't tell me anything.
Anytime they brought it up, I was like, "Don't say shit." Like, I haven't seen it yet. Let me go and see it. Like,
yeah. I saw it with you this third time. Third time because I kind of had to, because I saw it twice in like a matter of like 24 hours. I had enough.
Lady and gentleman who might be listening to this, Paul took me to go and see this movie. Paul hates going to see movies with me because I'm the worst person to go and see movies with. Anybody who's gone and seen a movie with me knows this. And
well, explain why though. Explain why.
If anybody's ever seen Mystery Science Theater 3000, that's me in a movie. If I don't like shit, I'm vocal about it, which is why I normally don't go to opening nights anymore. And I wait a couple weeks to make sure that the theater is pretty empty.
Yeah.
Because if shit's happening that I don't agree with, I call them out on their bullshit as it's happening, which is generally bad theater etiquette. Been getting better, but...
But I wanted to bring you to this movie because I didn't care.
Yeah, because this movie really deserved the Mystery Science Theater treatment, and I can't wait for everything wrong with...
I can't wait for the Honest trailer, I can't wait for the...
They're gonna tear it apart.
Yeah.
Tear it apart. And
unless they're not paid off by Disney. We love this movie!
No, they'll still tear it apart because they have to. Like, but it's just not good. I won't say it's bad.
It's not a. It's weird because it's mediocre. It's a mediocre.
Exactly.
It's a 6 out of 10.
It's fun to go and see, and if you're under the age of 12,
If you've never seen a Star Wars movie, it's a nice movie.
Yeah.
But if you're a Star Wars fan, you're not gonna like it.
And like grew up with all the Star Wars movies and the lore, and like watching them over and over again until you memorize every scene, everything. You go and see this, and you're just like, the fuck is going on? Like, what are you doing? Like, fucking Leia has super force powers, like that she can survive in space.
And it's not even that.
Who
like,
the fuck knows how to survive in space?
It's not even that. They didn't even do it in a cool way. If you had shown the hull explode and thought Leia had died or something, and then you went to like her using the force to barricade herself in the room somehow, that would have been cool.
You know what I just thought?
What?
I thought Luke was such a badass when they fired all the guns on him.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wasn't him.
It was an astral projection, yeah.
Now I thought that he was such a badass. I thought he was such a badass that he avoided.
It's not to say that they could have. It's not to say that they could have done that in another film.
I thought that he was like such a like fucking oh shit. Luke is a fucking man. He like fucking blocked all that shit. He dodged all that shit. Cool. Or he made like a force bubble. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then now looking back, it's like oh he wasn't actually there, so he didn't do shit.
Yeah. But you know what though? The astral projection would have been fine. I would have thought it would have been a cool thing for them to do. But then he dies anyway, and it's completely fucking pointless.
There's no point to it. I did like how they had a Pokemon in it. One of my favorites. Well, not one of my favorites.
Which one?
Oh, Glaceon. The ice form of Eevee. She was in it. There was a bunch of them.
I understood the point of the Crystal Foxes because they followed the Crystal Foxes to get out of the Bat Cave.
You mean like the giant hole in the back of the cave where like... It's
yeah,
like,
but the foxes...
Where are they going? Oh, maybe the end of the cave, the back of the cave where there's a giant fucking tunnel. It's only until the end of the tunnel where it has like the rock slide. Yeah. Do you also notice too that you also notice too that Rey just essentially just helps them out for like 2 seconds and then just flies away and then is just hovering around the top. That was cool because her moving the rocks. I said that when she was like, "Oh, it's rocks lifting rocks." I even leaned over.
But even then,
I leaned over you and like did like the force thing being like, the hand being like, "Move the fucking rocks."
But even when you think about that, she's just overpowered with no backstory. She's just nobody, and it's like, it's like it doesn't make it like it's fine if she's nobody, but explain why she's nobody. Explain.
Why she's so attuned to the force?
Yeah, or
she was barely any training.
And even when they do, well, she was made because Skywalker cut himself off from the force, so she needed to become the counterpoint to Kylo. Well, then who is the counterpoint to Snoke? There's no counterpoint to Snoke here. You don't make any sense. You're not.
Also, I was missing the Pennywise cameo when she went into the hole. Oh, there's a lot of dark stuff down there. It's like, hey Rey, you want a balloon? Like.
No, she's just gonna see a reflection for 50 miles, and then
and
then it's
what the fuck was that scene?
I don't know. I'm nobody. Okay, you're nobody. Fine.
Cool.
What does that mean? Are you another?
Mother? Like the
they don't make a point.
The thing like
they don't make any point. If Snoke,
herself, so she's her own mother. Like the.
If Snoke had come forward,
like I'm my own grandpa. Like
if Snoke had come forward and said, "I'm Plagueis, and I made Anakin, and I made you as another attempt," that would have been cool. But there's no explanation. She's just this thing. She's just this overpowered, awesome girl.
That's what you're saying. Is like, oh, maybe shit'll be explained in the 9th movie. Like, but like
at this point, I don't care.
Why is it explained now? Why, like, really? Like,
here's the thing, and everyone talks to me about it.
You want the fucking cliffhanger so we go back because this movie is such a bomb that like you want us to go back just to have shit explained? Like,
it's not even that, dude. Like, even if you want to compare it to Empire, Empire answered most of the questions. Like, the only thing you had really to answer was who is the other? Is it Leia? And is Vader lying? And will Leia choose Han or Luke? And that was basically it.
No, at the end of Empire,
you kind of got that was Han. Yeah, we're gonna get Han back, but there was enough left open where you were worried more about their fates, but it wasn't like a nothing's really explained type of deal.
Yeah.
You know. You understood why Yoda went into exile. You understood why...
The cliffhanger makes sense. Whereas this, you're just like... None of this makes sense.
I don't feel relieved at all. I don't feel like I've learned anything. And the characters are exactly in the same place that they were at the beginning of the film. Rey still really knows nothing. Finn is still exactly the same thing he was.
Is Benicio del Toro still alive?
No one cares. The only thing that changes is Kylo moves up in rank.
I feel bad for Captain Phasma. I wish that she was in the movie more.
I feel bad for Gwendolyn Christie, who can hold her own, by the way. It's proven in Game of Thrones.
I feel like they just threw her in because they forgot, like what you said, they forgot about the character. Oh, let's just throw her back in. And it's just like, oh, I'm here too. Like,
And goodbye.
And after like 2 scenes later, I'm gone. Like, but then again, is she gone? She fell into that fiery vortex.
Also, did you find it funny? Did you find it funny
that her armor was actually effective?
That she gets shot with a blaster, it bounces off,
yeah.
and then you think back to 7, and she's being held at blaster point.
Yep.
So it's like, what was the point then? Why did she do anything?
Why would she be afraid at blaster point?
Anyway,
I thought of that, and it was just like, the fuck is going on? And she had like a steel.
Did Rian Johnson even watch 7?
She was like a steel rod. She was being like fucking Gambit, using like a pole to like fight people. And
like, you have a gun.
She had a gun afterwards. That's the funny thing. It's like after she like kicked him off, like Rose like pops up and she has a fucking like mini blaster pistol. Why didn't she just take the mini blaster and be like, oh, what's up? Pop, pop, pop. Done. Like,
and you know what? Rose sacrificing herself would have been more cool than what
if
anything
she actually died.
We win this by not killing things we hate, by saving things we love. Meanwhile, the battering ram just destroyed the front door that are going to now kill all the rebels inside.
I just saved you, and I do.
I love you. This is not the time or the place,
Why
Rose.
do you love me?
Because
all right, fangirl. Like, that's what I said.
And they're basically just doing it to set up a dumb triangle that doesn't need to be there.
The first moment she came on screen, I looked at you and like fucking sighed because she literally reminded me of any fangirl at a convention. You wear the right cosplay and you have like the girls glomping you, being like, "Oh my god!" and you'd be like, "Oh hey."
This movie did
May the force be with you, and she's like sighs, and it's like, like it's like, okay, cool. I said the cool quote, awesome.
This movie did the exact opposite of what Force Awakens did. Force Awakens introduced 3 new characters that I actually liked. I liked Poe, I liked Finn, and I liked Rey. I didn't know much about Rey, but I liked Rey, and I knew enough that they were starting off and they were going to answer questions.
You were curious about where they were going to go.
Exactly.
Right now, I am not curious about.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about Rose. I didn't care about Holdo, and I didn't care about DJ, which 2 of them died anyway. So good luck. And I want Rose to die immediately. I don't care about if she gets blown up in the beginning of 9.
I was hoping that she died. Like when she died in that thing.
If she sacrificed hers, if she had pushed Finn out of the way,
and then she went in,
that would have made more sense. Like, okay.
See, that's why we should rewrite it.
No. But it doesn't matter. It's done. It's Star Wars is dead, and I'm done. That's all I've got to say. Anyway, what do you got?
Like final thoughts now?
Final thoughts, yeah.
The Force will be with you always. No.
Not really. Oh, Tom responded back to your thing.
If you strike the series down, it will come back stronger than ever. No. I don't fucking know. I don't know what to say after this movie. Like, I really don't.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
It is sad. It's sad. I mean, was that their point? I don't know.
Series I grew up with. Read all the fucking books growing up. I had like so many of the figures. Like the video games, like everything. And I've been waiting for this series to get like not relaunched, but like the last movie, I fucking loved Force Awakens.
It was great.
It was a great new relaunch into the franchise, and then this one was just like, what's going on? I did love fucking purple hair chick doing light speed through the ship,
but
to sacrifice herself and like destroy the ship. That was kind of cool.
But
But
now you have to ask yourself, why don't they do that with every other ship?
Right? Like, if they just have, like, a little fucking X-Wing that can just fly through a ship, just be like, well, this whole squad...
Kamikaze
here,
now, goodbye.
You're our kamikaze squad. We can just take care of all of these ships and destroy everybody. Let's do that. Or, like, just have droids do it.
Is it not in the budget? I don't know.
BB-8 could fucking...
Oh, my God! Oh, my God!
A little fucking ship and just fucking light speed through everything. Boom! Done! Like... Resistance would win in a day.
This movie broke Star Wars. It broke Star Wars.
If it's that easy, then just fucking
say what you want about the prequels. They basically just destroyed Darth Vader. Essentially, that's what it did. It destroyed the Jedi and destroyed Darth Vader. But this destroyed Luke Skywalker. It destroyed 7. It destroyed
the franchise.
It's a franchise killer.
And on that wonderful note,
6 out of 10, everybody. 6 out of 10.
You're giving it a 6. Oh.
You're hating it more and more you think about it.
Yeah,
I know.
I
only give it 6 because of the nice visuals. That's about it. All right, that's it. That's all I've got to say. Are you wrapped up?
From Nerd Supernova, this was our review of the next Star Wars and
Disney. Get fucked.
Do not kill fucking all of Marvel.
No, they're leaving Marvel Studios alone. They should let Marvel.
They cannot kill all of Marvel like they did this. I mean,
They let Marvel Studios do what they want. Kathleen Kennedy, I don't know what the fuck she was doing, but I hope she gets dethroned. I hope she gets dethroned at this point.
KJ, I'm out.
I'm out too. All right. Bye, everybody.